Hey everyone, how you doing? As promised on our daily financial news video this Friday, the 12th, we have a special guest. We actually have a student coming back to us and really sharing what they are doing with the course. And this one is special because it's actually, we're going to start this discussion with the brand new course, the financial course about getting your money right. So how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here once again. Uh,
Awesome.
I accepted the invitation to join you once again on the channel. This time, pretty much, I would like to share some of my experience by going through the new course along with my wife. I mean, oftentimes we think that we reach a level of either financial stability or, in my case, financial independence. And the kind of person who does budget monthly,
Yeah.
biannually, annually, kind of track all my numbers pretty well. But going through your method, it was very eye-opening.
Yeah.
We we went through it pretty much early this year. We've been tracking January, February closely. Able to kind of like do some forecast of where we want to be and where we're heading.
Yeah.
Recently came from a short business trip that it was kind of like unexpected, but they need to happen. So financially, we were able to make it on a very short notice, but definitely throw things a little bit off,
Hmm.
right? Because those are unexpected expenses. And and I know our number of March are not gonna look that great because of that trip, but at least we know where the money is being depleted and for what purpose, right? I think the course lays that out very well. And yeah, I'm an open book. I'm willing to share my spreadsheets, kind of like go a little bit through it, not to brag,
Hmm.
but more to show that it's a stepping stone, right? We need to have our finances, our house in order,
Hmm.
our personal finances, in order to take either a side hustle or any type of investment strategy to the next level. And I think your course offers that in a very simple, systematic way, very similar to the one rental at a time course. And I am I'm proof that hey, it might not be as pretty as we may think.
That's funny. Well, I think there's a lot of things that I want to say about that new money course, right? Get your money right. There's really a couple of goals. First and foremost, I just want people to talk about money more, right? It's not talked about enough, right? And I mean all aspects, income, spending, savings, investing, all of that. I want people to think time, not price tag, right? Especially um, because again, it means very different things. A $500 Xbox or whatever they cost is very different from one family to another, but everybody talks about the $500 price tag. No, we should talk about our available discretionary income. One family may have thousands of dollars discretionary, and by all means go nuts. Others of you were like my family, living really close to the edge, and you just don't have it. And it might take mom and dad hundreds of hours to work because they've committed so much capital to living and car payments and whatever else. And then second is I want the family unit to track, as you've said, right? Understanding what's going. I don't really see this course as a budget course. That's not what it is. It's a let's talk money, because I make no judgments, right? I don't care where your money goes, but at least acknowledge where it is going. And if you want to, like you said, get on the one rental at a time path, at least for us, a key decision all those years ago was, you know what? We have to cut out some of our wants, right? We're going to take care of the needs. We're never going to be missing a need, but damn it, do we really, want everything here, or can we sacrifice? So I'm glad that that came through.
Yes, that's very true. The the course do not offer right like the to the T expense tracker,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those are things that we have implemented over the years through
Mm-hmm.
our own experiences or figuring out our own other spreadsheets and whatever. the course, that's what I said, is the beauty of the simplicity and make it quick, not too tedious, right?
Mhm.
To at least have a general idea, like you described throughout the course of, okay, where my entertainment and dining out, for examples, are going. That's kind
Right.
of like as an overall, or how much I'm really putting between transportation, which could be fuel, tolls, miscellaneous repairs that has to do with the vehicle,
Mhm.
and at the end you start getting these totals amounts, and okay, so in reality, my lifestyle, which is funny as an investor, right? That sometimes I tell myself, well, my real estate investment expenditure are part of my lifestyle. Be careful. This is a very thin line there, and I think the course bring a little bit of that smack on the face as far as like, all right, let's keep things on check,
There
and
you go.
we're glad we did it. By no means we thought we had it figured out. We live very comfortable,
Mhm.
but I was curious. I mean, since you start announcing it and the concept behind it, which kudos, Ryan, is to stimulate that family conversation, no longer be a taboo, but rather an open discussion where we are comfortable talking about where we at, what we aspire, how do we get there, and how what efforts, which is kind of like hours of my life, of my productivity on exchange for X, Y, or C. Um, I don't think there's other products that put that value on time in relation to needs or wants.
Yeah, I've never seen that either, right? Understanding where everybody talks price tags. We've got to stop that.
Mm,
It's time, right? Whether you like it or not, you can get money back.
right.
Time, once it's spent, it's gone. And I promise you, if you talk to a kid, again, to use a PlayStation or Xbox example, and say, you know what, it takes mom and dad 2 hours to get that. Most kids are like, great, I'll take it. But if you went to your kids and says it's going to take mom and dad 112 hours to pay for that, I think that wakes the kid up. I mean, I know it would have woken me up when I was younger, right? And I think that that is such an critical discussion to have going forward. It sets the kids on a different path, in my experience. And then the ability to talk in a family unit about, hey, this is where all the money's going in January and all the money's going in February. It it really de-stresses the environment because everybody knows the plan, everybody knows actuals, surprises happen, and then you just document, deal with it, and move on, right?
Yes, yes, completely right. The other thing I would like to share to the audience is many of those of us who follow this channel, I mean, we already either on our first, second, or more properties. But there's also, I would say, easily a 50% of the audience is also trying to figure out when to make that next step, how to jump into that first rental,
Mhm.
either taking advantage of the low interest rates or maybe giving a larger down payment than usual so they can secure that cash flow, right? All depends on where they at in that retirement horizon.
Mhm.
But I think that this course, it, it should be like a must for, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to advertise it for the sake of, okay, just getting to another course, but it supplements so well what we learn on the one rental at a time. I have done both courses, and I was
Mhm.
like, man, this is no brainer. Definitely, people need to understand their finances. But if I would have known what I learned through this, managing my money right
Mhm.
up front, perhaps that saving curve wouldn't have been as long as I made it. Uh,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was the same for us. It's kind of funny, right? The first course, which I'm most known for, how to get started one rental at a time, that was really driven by the audience, right? I did this
mm,
YouTube channel, wrote the book, and so many people ask for help. I'm like, I can't help everybody. So I spent 6 weeks and just documented everything we did. Then we create the group, and it's over 1,000 people, and people love it, which is awesome. And they're doing deals, which is just
Yeah.
huge. But to your point, way back in the beginning, the first thing Olivia and I had to do was get our money right. Right?
Right.
We have acknowledged many a times that we were spending everything we made. It wasn't until we looked at the income and our expenses that we're like, we got a problem. We can't go nearly as fast as we want. So yeah, the Get the Money Right course was our first step. It doesn't, I don't think it gets the respect yet that it deserves. It's new. But it fundamentally changes your family unit's concept of money, because it's not the price, it's time. And then you just take that concept forward, and the discussions are just so different.
Yeah. So we'll see what we trigger on our audience, right? I'm here about to share my spreadsheets, kind of like I'd let you probably take the lead and explain through them.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think I
basically,
just
those are my numbers, right? Something
yeah.
I want to bring it is based on my personal finances,
Mhm.
right? It does not include the income or expenses that I have through real estate. That's something maybe you can discuss maybe in further videos or on
Sure.
another segment. How, because I'm curious about it, right? Do I incorporate? Do I don't? Do I have a separate one for my investments and those
Mhm.
type of expenses? I did not merge them, right?
Yeah,
I
and
have
you
like my
shouldn't.
W-2. Okay,
Yeah,
good. My
you shouldn't.
W-2 and my investments are two different things.
Yeah, really the cornerstone of this money course, Get Your Money Right, is a family unit, right? It's your W-2 income combined if your significant other
Yes.
works, right? That's the top of the line we're talking about. What I would do separately is I would probably do the same thing, but for the investment units. I would treat them as like an LLC, right? It's a different entity. I would
Right.
I would treat that. This is really about family units, because that's where most people are, right? Most people are surviving, but they don't really know where their money is going. And they certainly nobody, like you said earlier, nobody looks at a price and converts it to time. I think if we can do more of that, I think the world just becomes different. So
Yes.
I gave you control if you want to share one of your
Okay.
spreadsheets.
Yeah. So I'm about to share here the one that talks about hours and pretty much time and income,
Yep.
because I think that includes everything, right? The
Oh, very cool. All right, so there's your yearly income. Again, the beauty of this
money,
course,
right?
right?
Excel.
Yep, the green is what you put in, and then the red is calculated, and then the yellow is the most important. So, um, are you still there? Oop, I think I lost you. So what we have here, while we hopefully get him back, is his yearly income. We've done some division to create a monthly number. We have hourly rate. We got the tax rate there. Oh, there he
So
is.
lost you for a minute.
That's okay. Why don't you go back and share it one more time?
Thanks.
I was just talking and buying time.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay.
There we are.
Okay. Well, sorry about that hiccup.
That's
So
okay.
pretty much I wanted to mention that there's two spreadsheet. One is like a brief
Mhm,
takeaway of what we're doing as far as money an hour, but
mhm,
I think that is pretty much it eventually becomes a duplicate
mhm,
of this earn sheet. So I'm gonna talk about the second spreadsheet in the course, which pretty much here shows my, well, between me and my wife, annual yearly income,
mhm,
pretty much gross, kind of like translating that as the spreadsheet does automatically, right? What
mhm.
is on pink or like rose color.
Hmm.
The tax rate, this is accurate for us. It's a 12%. I mean, we have an outstanding CPA, and
Mm.
investments and our donations, pretty
Very
much
cool.
that investors' lifestyle, we're
Hmm.
able to fall within the 12% bracket, and that translates into what we can see here, uh, an hourly rate of
Yep.
$48. That is not much different from the actual $55.
Okay, that's awesome. And again, this is just a setup, right? People need to understand you don't spend gross, you spend net, right? Your family planning shouldn't be on 114, it should be on 100, just to
On
round
the
the numbers up. Yeah. So
correct.
that's awesome. Okay.
So as far as expenditures, we pretty much broke it as the course asked us to do on a monthly
Mhm.
estimate. And I want to make mention, I want people to keep this in mind, right? This Lexus, this loan with interest. I did not have a car loan for like the last 7 years. And this Christmas, because my wife's birthday is on December 31st, I said like, well, what
Mm.
better present than a brand new car, Christmas slash birthday. And I want people to keep that in mind, because that definitely throw us from a pretty comfortable to a slippery slope.
And we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
exact. See, this is what happens, man. I get it. This is
yeah,
awesome.
and I'm saying just a car payment, one vehicle, right?
Hmm.
Because that also affects insurance, that increases
Yep.
vehicle other expenses and adds up.
Yes, it
But
does.
pretty much here, um, again, this is very straightforward. We added few things. For example, we name our utilities as they are.
Sure.
We combine entertainment and dining out, because with COVID, that budget definitely has been reduced.
Yeah.
So we combine that. I combine my life insurance policies pretty much into one slot. I'm not breaking down each
Cool.
policy,
Yeah.
and so on and so on. There's plenty of room here to add more things, but we're kind of frugal. We also
Mm.
do a lot of kind of like credit cards hacking and other things that pay by themselves. So
Awesome.
not necessarily included here. Um, we can see here some total
Yep.
monthlies. So people can get percentages from the monthly as well as from their annual,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But the beauty comes here. How much time
Exactly.
of of my youth I'm giving to these expenses,
Exactly.
right?
It's 16% of your working hours go to pay for housing. Now 13% for your car.
That's ridiculous. It's almost the same.
Exactly.
I was in shock that these are the things that I was saying earlier, kind of smack our face.
Right.
Oh, how is that the car takes as much energy, almost
Yeah.
as much energy as having a safe shelter, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Uh,
I
yeah,
like it.
that happens. And I would say the other thing really took us off surprise is childcare.
Mm.
In I mean, in these times, I think it's something that most American families go through,
Hmm.
not by luxury, but by necessity, and definitely something that can add
Yep.
up significantly. Which, I mean, if our son would not go to childcare,
Mm.
and we're gonna feel it now because he's only 2 years old,
Hmm.
this is probably gonna have some impact, and I will need to figure out how to get that next rental, because this is a takeaway from that down payment.
Absolutely.
What I used to do in the past 12 years, right?
Hmm.
This is a whole new double digit expenses that we will figure out.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah. As far as the summary, this is the pie chart,
Yep.
which,
I like it.
I mean, first glance, it looks okay. We're in a good spot, right? But we used to do better without
Hmm.
that car payment.
Yeah.
I, I I have not done the calculation, but I would say probably at that without that car payment. Well, of course, he said what, 16%. Let me go back.
Yeah. I think it's $1,000 or 1,100 or something.
Right, because it's a 4-year loan, so it's a 4 year. So yeah, I said 13%. So if I add a 13% to this summary,
Yeah.
that will bring my percentage to 76. I guess from 63.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that right? From 63, we'll bring it up to 76. So that's
Well,
or
it'd go the other way.
yeah, you're right. Actually, subtract it, right?
Yeah, it would subtract
Subtract
it.
it.
Yeah.
So 63 minus the 13% would be a 50-50.
You got it. Yeah, that's what it would be. Yep.
Yeah. So that would have been much better. That's perhaps when we spoke about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Life was so beautiful.
Yeah. So let's see what your health score is, the next tab.
So that gets me there on the slippery slope.
Yeah.
See that 37 here.
Yeah. And
Very
you were clearly comfortable before, right?
all right. That
Right.
was yes.
Yeah.
That was even having the childcare.
Hmm.
But I think this course came at a great timing because the childcare happened about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yep.
And then 3 or 4 months later, the vehicle comes into the picture, right? And
Yeah.
now we're doing this, and we must put that emergency brake.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're gonna fall face forward.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so this
Again,
is what the course does.
yeah, it's appreciating where you are. And again, what most people will see is over their lifetime, they're going to bounce around these 5 different sections, right?
Mhm.
Doomed, razor's edge, slippery slope, comfortable, the 1%. Um, and again, I call the slippery slope on purpose because that's the area where credit comes to you and consumerism and all of that stuff. So yeah,
Yes,
you got to be careful.
yes.
So
And
there.
someone like us who has such a comfortable life for
Mhm.
a consecutive amount of years without a car payment,
Yeah.
with our first child being taken care of at home. So it was pretty much you become not complacent, but I would say your skin gets pretty thick
Yeah.
when it comes to the other miscellaneous type of expenses. You don't see them as having an impact to that quietly comfortable range
Yeah.
because for the reason it's quietly comfortable,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you,
Yeah.
you can do these things here and there, but now with those two expenses of a 4 year car loan and a childcare who would be probably at least for the next 4 or 5 years before the child goes to either public school or another private school. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, the
Yeah.
slippery slope is probably the path we would be in the next 48, 36 months.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident of that. So we need to be aware and alert about it. Um,
Yeah.
the I think something I need a little bit of clarification if I move to the actual.
Mhm.
I think this is pretty much like an overall view.
Mhm.
And what I like is how you prepare the sheet that translates into color. For example, with the vehicle, the second payment we did in February, we
Mhm.
throw a little bit more to the principal.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it goes, I think this is pink or red.
Yeah, pink or red. Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, you're going above your
Mhm.
threshold mark. So it's a visual
Mhm.
indication, right?
Yeah, it's just meant to be visual. It's not meant to judge. It's just, hey,
Mhm.
we plan to spend 1,117, and last month we did 1172. So it's basically telling you, hey, you spent more. It's not saying good or bad. It's just you spent more than you planned for. It's just
Yeah,
kind
I
of an
like it.
indicator.
I like it because column B, we have our estimates, kind of like our projections.
Yep.
And blue, either I'm on target, green, I am below that budget, so I'm saving,
Yep.
I'm having more savings towards the end of the month. Or if I go red, kind of, okay, you're a little bit about that threshold.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There's things like that we don't have control, like utilities, for example,
Mhm.
right? We know kind of like our monthly average,
Yeah.
but when we're using the heater,
Yeah.
uh, 16, 17 hours out of a day,
Mhm.
that can ramp up pretty quickly here in Florida.
Yeah, and then what you'll do with this is, those things like utilities and whatnot that will vary through the years. You'll look at it yearly and go, "Hey, was 270 a good number?" right? Because
Hmm.
maybe it needs to be 277 or 263 next time.
Okay.
Some expenses are fixed, like car payments. Some are variable, like heat. But it's just getting more comfortable, right? And it's just another conversation point to just talk about monthly. So I think it's very well done. You're doing what I hoped people would do, right? You're
Yes.
having conversations, you're appreciating time, you're doing this as a family unit, and then no judgment. We just once a month we put in actuals and we see what we're doing. You're
Oh,
doing exactly what I hoped would happen from this course.
yeah. So well, we're glad we're on track. I think I was thinking my wife went through the whole course pretty much within 3 weeks. She took her time. She gathered all the paper, which was a good timing because we needed to do most of this financial scrub for our CPA
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah,
So it was like a good timing to do early this year. And right now we definitely sit down once a month, but pretty much
that's
every
awesome.
7, 10 days we have this type of conversations.
That's so
Um,
awesome. I'm so happy. I'm glad it's helping. I'm glad even if it helps just one person. I'm happy we did it. So that's pretty awesome.
so I have no other questions as far as what the sheet. I know this sample yearly is pretty much you're giving us something
Yeah,
to
just trying to look at what it could look like because some people,
correct
yeah,
towards the end. And I
yeah.
think I'm looking forward to see what's gonna be on December
Mhm.
2021, and then have a historical record to compare with 2022,
Awesome.
2023, and so on. Um, I don't think I have the time to go back in time,
No,
but
just go forward.
yes, yes. So definitely pretty happy with the product. I think the price
Yeah.
cannot be better.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
99 bucks. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
and
you know,
it gives so much as far as how straightforward it is and how much of an eye opener can be for
yeah,
someone that
very cool.
suddenly thought had everything figured out.
Well, I'm glad the course, again, I can't stress enough. It makes me so happy to see that you're doing what I hoped for, right? You're talking as a unit, you're doing the budget, you're doing the actuals. I mean, that's awesome. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time. Any closing thoughts?
That definitely that should be the first step. Instead of the analysis paralysis,
Hmm.
we all should go and sit down, pen and paper, and understand what comes in, what goes out, what is fixed, what can be variable,
Hmm.
what things we can control. But like you said many times on some of your presentations, and you said it also through the course, I think the issue is we focus so much into how much do I need to make, how much
Yeah.
more do I have to earn, but instead is okay, where do I control and limit my expenses? And once that is figured out, that saving rate is gonna make wonders
Hmm.
for us.
Totally agree. Well said, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael.